Hey, what's up? Welcome everybody to another episode of Game Informer Live, the only place on the internet where you can find live gameplay of the hottest games with the coolest people from Game Informer. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Or afternoon, depending where you're at. We're checking out Shadowlands today. I recently got level 60. We're doing some endgame cool stuff. We've got all kinds of world quests to do. We're working up our faction rep. Basically, there's a ton of stuff to do at endgame, as there usually is. And we're going to be jumping into that, gearing up, getting ready for, mythic dungeons, raids, all that kind of fun stuff today. In preparation for those when they hit on December 10th. So they kind of give you a grace period to get geared up. I'm your host, Dan Tack, and I'll be with you today playing Shadowlands. So we'll do some world quests. We got Torghast to check out too, which is this really cool roguelike dungeon experience that they've added. But for now, we'll queue up for a dungeon. And I don't know, go do some couple of world quests here. We gotta complete 3 world quests in Revendreth. We can do that. Let's do that. So world quests have been in the game since Legion, and they've changed a little bit, but basically there's stuff that everybody wants to do at max level in order to gear up and advance their progression stuff. Hey Hero, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. How's it going today? Hope you're having a great one. We're heading down into the Shadowlands today. We're already at max level. It'll only take you, depending on your playstyle, it'll only take you a few days to get to level cap. But then, of course, that's when the game really begins. You're having a great time in Shadowlands. Yeah, me too, so far. It's always about whether the endgame systems can live up to the reality, right? I think they did a great job with the leveling process, although I wasn't too pleased that you don't really have options this time around. You kind of have to go through the story. In a way, it works. But in another way, I wish you could have done it any way you wanted, but
see yourself out.
I get it. Dr. Mono, hello. Duluth, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Game Informer Live. It's time for some world quests while we hop in the dungeon queue. We can do level 60 dungeons now, which is cool. We should be doing heroics by this afternoon. Get some drops. The story is very, very competent. It clearly lays out all the factions, lets you pick one, lets you get into the feel of your faction, which is really important with this expansion. Spike, that's true. They do have me doing that. Good to see you. Keep coming back, and maybe we can do more of these. You know what I mean?
Left these souls to rot. Please remedy this plight.
Yo, Raisin B-Man, what's up? Okay, we got. Let's do some world questing. World quests are super easy, designed for the solo player in mind. So basically, you've got stuff to do no matter what, and I've gotten pretty good at that, at delivering different offerings for how many people you've got on board. Friends, random people, whatever. There's stuff for you to do to advance at this point. So instead of getting artifact power these days, we're getting anima to power up our soul binds and other fun stuff.
Your death is final.
So this is one of the coolest zones, I think, in the game, period, Revendreth. Very gothic horror type style zone. Very cool dungeons associated with it as well. Maybe we'll get one if we're lucky in the dungeon queue. We got a while to wait for our dungeon to pop since we're a crappy old DPS, but that's okay, because we've got lots of stuff to do to take care of that doesn't involve other people. So, so let's talk about covenants. You get to pick one of 4 in Shadowlands, okay? And they're all very different in terms of what kind of abilities and transmogs and mounts and cosmetics and soul binds, which is the new endgame advancement system. They're all very different in those terms. So picking your faction is not a simple choice. However, I picked the Venthyr. It is the extremely wrong choice for my my class, which is Beast Mastery Hunter. And the best WoW expansion since Wrath of the Lich King, Cyber Exile. Wow, that's very high praise. I don't know if it can top Legion. It's very good. It's very good. But let's let the honeymoon, you know, take its you know. Let's give it a second. Let's give it a second. Step back for a second. Crocodile, great to see you. Is that a raptor? Yes, it is. It's actually a spectral raptor. Spirit beast. It doesn't actually function as a real raptor. We got a question from chat. Why am I not streaming on Mixer? Because you can't. Other than that, we'd love to be providing the stream for you on Mixer. We're out here today on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, of course Twitch. We're here on all the channels that we can be on right now. Legion had bad music. That's your criticism? Alright, I got you. I hear you. Anyway, hey, so far, you know, day 2 of being level 60. Lots to do here. We're gonna go to Torghast later. You guys are gonna love this. Torghast being the new, I think they nailed it on that one. But yeah, Cyber Exile, lots of really cool stuff. I just think, you know, let's let the honeymoon wear off just a little bit, just slightly, and dig into the endgame systems before we crown it the new best expansion of all time. But hey, that's high praise. Best expansion since Wrath of the Lich King is very, very high praise for this. And I think they nailed the factions. I think, you know, we'll see as that develops. Nobody has a really great sense of how things are going to turn out. You know, a month or two down the line, we're still not doing mythics. We're still not doing raids, but the systems seem solid. The systems that are in place. What covenant was I supposed to pick? Well, on paper, Hero, the best covenant for a Beastmaster Hunter is absolutely the Night Fae of Ardenweald wield. Tim J says, Dan, I don't play WoW or MMOs for the most part, but I like to catch your streams when I can. Thanks for being here, Tim. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a great day. Alright, what are we gonna do? We gotta kill Dread Hollow threats. Alright, that's anything in the zone. Easy. We can do that. Oh, got him. Trying to grab some herbs while I'm out here too, because as you may or may not know, during the beginning of an expansion, all those consumable mats like herbs, minerals, and all that fun stuff are gonna go for mad prices in the auction house. Why are my feet so big? Well, I'm wearing a special set, a BlizzCon set called the Woolies. Okay, and it turns you into like a little Yeti. Or a big Yeti, depending on your character class, but this is a transmog set. So WoW has been about fashion for a long time. Even though I may be wearing much different armor, the visuals can be tuned to whatever sets that I've collected across my history of the game. Some people spend all the time just going through old raids by themselves and picking up transmogrification to look cool. That's something you can do in this game. Yeah. Yeah, I'll try to, Tim J, I'm going to try to keep the MMO lingo to a minimum. I know it's tough. It's very tough for a person who's played MMOs for 20 years like me, but I'll do my best. Hey, Rich, what's up? How you doing today? Welcome, welcome. So yeah, it's about, you know, if you play, you know, Dark Souls or any of the other games, you know all about fashion souls, okay? So you can make your character look cool no matter what you're wearing through the process of transmogrification, alright? I do love the Horde. Yes, as you may have noticed, I'm playing Alliance. We don't talk about it. My my playgroup of 14 years decided to go Alliance this expansion. And while it hurts me inside, honestly, there ain't that much difference these days. Well, VXN, I'm happy you're here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we're getting cracking early today. Progression ain't gonna wait for anybody, Rich. We gotta get in there. We gotta get some new gear. Start working up our covenant. Hey, Busted Vinyls, what's up, yo? Welcome.
The souls will be taken care of.
Do I PvP? Yeah, I PvP. I'm not like a pro PvP or arena master or anything like that, but yeah. Everybody PvPs a little, right? They put like rewards for their... I do PvP. As a hunter, of course I PvP. Send, pet, and run, right? Strategy for the ages. Just kidding. Yeah, I enjoy PvP. Not as much as PvE, but I enjoy it. Hey, thanks, Fayex, and you have a good one, too. This perspective is weirding you out. What perspective? I hope everyone's having a great one. We're going to check out some dungeons, okay? We're going to do some... Basically, we're doing level 60 content, alright? We're doing some world quests right now.
Got a gig for ya. How's that back of yours?
And then we're definitely going to go to the Maw and check out Torghast. That's going to be a big deal. Is this expansion a good place to start for new players? Absolutely. They've greatly enhanced the leveling experience for this expansion. That's part of actually one of the unsung champions of this expansion is how they changed the leveling up. While it used to take you quite a while to start a new character, now you can level a character all the way to Shadowlands in, no joke, like less than 24 hours. So yes, while you'll still probably need some assistance, Kyle, getting into the endgame systems, like all the different kinds of progression systems, of which there are many, that might be a little daunting at first, but as far as leveling up and getting into the expansion, no problem at all. In fact, it's probably one of the most tuned for new players out there, because you don't have a whole lot of options in your first leveling experience. You just have to level up through the story, basically, so... Demolish wreckage. Do we know if we get flying in Shadowlands yet? I heard that the Explore task is gone in this expansion. You know, flying usually doesn't come online until much, much later, so if we are going to get it, I wouldn't expect it for a year. You know, that's how it goes. Hey, got him. Oh god. I don't know where these came from. We never understood the appeal of this product. I mean, okay. That's fine. Not every game is for everyone. I do believe that. But I would say that the appeal of this product is twofold. Not this expansion in particular, I'm talking about the product in general. If we're talking about it as a product, I'd rather call it a game, but that's fine too. Essentially started, you know, the game as service, you know? So all those progression hooks that you get to do in other games that you may be familiar with, like, you know, Destiny or any of that stuff, they're all here. And in juicier forms in a lot of cases. So... constant progression, and of course the community aspect. If you've got a group to play with, friends to play with, maybe you'll meet some new friends. That was always a thing. A big part of the game. I've met a lot of my real life friends through this game over the years. Now, of course, MMOs have changed a lot over the years, but this continues to evolve as a game as service product, if we want to use these clinical and technical terms for it. But I don't expect everyone to love it universally. That's certainly... I don't think that makes sense. Like, I'm not, you know, chomping at the bit to play some NBA 2K or whatever, you know, everybody's got their preferences. But yeah, there's lots of senses of, like, you know, exploration, discovery, achievement, like anything that you see that has been iterated upon in modern products, such as, you know, the MMOs that aren't MMOs today. MMOs by everything but the fact that they can't have, like, hundreds of players in the same area. So the Destinies of the world, Divisions 2, you know. Sort of things that have long-term content plans and lots of hooks to keep playing. Hey, wow, we got a random dungeon group. We're going to be playing with some random players here. This dungeon shouldn't be difficult, but you never know. It'll be fun. Can you purchase my hat with WoW Gold? You cannot. Sorry, Quinn. Oh, I haven't done this one yet. What are my thoughts on WoW Classic compared to New WoW? I love WoW Classic. I could never go back, though. I played WoW Classic when it wasn't called WoW Classic. I played WoW Classic when it was just WoW. And I adored it at that point, but it was it's a different playstyle and different attitude that I probably couldn't handle in my life right now. Modern WoW allows you to sort of engage with the game at your measure. Classic WoW is, in some ways, more rewarding as an experience, but it's also, again, I don't think I could do that again. I spent a lot of time on WoW back in the day.
Either way, this should prove entertaining. Bring in the challengers.
So yeah, what they've done in this expansion, Zang, is they've scaled the numbers back. We've had stat squish. So 1,000 damage is actually a lot of damage again. Also, I've never done this dungeon, so I have no idea what the mechanics are going to be for these fights. I'm sure these people are going to hate me.
Let the bloodshed begin.
It's a new pack. Yes, this is a new expansion, Shadowlands. It just came out a few days ago. Doesn't simplify the majority of the content. It's certainly more understanding of what you've got to do, but there's lots of different kinds of content, snoo, that make it, once you get to endgame, you may stumble trying to figure out what you should be doing to progress, but unless you're min-maxing, that's fine, right? For a lot of players, it doesn't matter, but if you want to be like, oh, I gotta get in everything day one, I gotta make sure my progression cycle is the most efficient possible, then you're gonna want to know a lot of different aspects of the endgame before you get in there.
I thought we had a great show. What a disappointment.
Can't you meet people in literally any game? Sure. This is one of the first games that popularized, you know, guild systems. And, you know, making playing as a community the crux of the entire experience. While that is no longer the case, it's certainly a way you can still engage with the game. Having played WoW since vanilla, yes, I have as well. What do I think of its current state? It's hard. I'm not passing judgment on this expansion just yet. I would be foolish to do so after only a few days of play. But I'm for the most part, I'm happy. You know, WoW is always about iteration on current designs, wanting to make sure that they keep the good stuff good without taking stuff away. It's a very daunting task. I can't even imagine how difficult it is to try to balance all this stuff. Very difficult. It is certainly not a perfect experience for me. I don't think I've ever had a perfect experience, but... Has Hunter always been my main? Hunter is my main approximately 70% of the time. Over the last 10 years, I generally play ranged DPS. So Hunter is a good fit for me. DualSense has started to get some integration on PC. Do I think it'll have full functionality? I have no idea. I would love it if it did. This group seems to be going smoothly, which is good.
My blade will bathe in your blood.
So yeah, my main originally in vanilla was a rogue, and then when Blackwing Lair came out, I switched to an off-tank position in a melee DPS as a warrior. I've played a lot of different things. The only thing I really haven't played in earnest are healing classes. I don't do healing. You played Hunter for the turtles. Yeah, I mean, I love the pets. Honestly, that's what swayed my opinion in this expansion. So go back to Hunter. I love having cool pets. I love hunting down cool pets. I think that's a cool bonus thing you get to do as a hunter. I mean, every class has their cool fun stuff, right? But, you know, screw picking locks. I'd rather chase down cool pets. Spike, one thing that I think I'd like is more meta progression. You know, basically every expansion is a hard reset of the game. I think if we got to keep more stuff than just transmogs from expansion to expansion. I think a Paragon-style leveling system would be very interesting to implement. I know, somewhat dangerous, but I would love to see something like that. Yes, there already is alternate advancement and endgame progression, but I would like to see something like Paragon. So that you'd be getting rewards from whatever you did all the time. Even if it's small. Yeah, pet customization has always been really fun. Alright, I bet this guy just does like whirlwinds and stuff. I don't know what he does. Let's hit some cooldowns. Your main for the last 10 years has been a druid. Cool. Yeah, I played a balanced druid. For like half of an X-Pack. I like moonbeams.
Fall before the storm.
Yes, Cyber Exile, yes, you do play Whack-A-Mole as a healer, but I think that that has improved a little bit over the years as well. I think you have a little bit, the job is a little bit more nuanced than that these days. Then again, I don't know for sure, as I don't play healer, but that's what they tell me.
Mortal lives are so fleeting, so fragile.
But there's one thing that we always do, that we've done since WoW started, and that's stand out of fire. Circles on the ground are bad. You don't stand in them. That has held true for 90% of cases. Anyway, I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks for joining me a little bit on our end game journey. After we do this regular dungeon, we're gonna go check out Torghast, which is a new experience you can do with multiple players or by yourself. And it's kind of like a roguelike in the way that, you know, you get random power-ups and stuff over the course of a run. You do runs, just like you would in Slay the Spire or something like that. It's actually really cool. So people ask, like, what's the new stuff? That's the new stuff. Obviously, you still got the same old dungeon raids, world quest, and all that other fun stuff that hasn't gone away. Do I play multiple characters or normally stick to one? I normally stick to one. At some point during the course of an expansion, I inevitably get FOMO, and I might start an alt. But in general, I like to stick to one per expansion and focus on that as my main. If they're constantly resetting every X-Pack and they shove newcomers directly into endgame, which they don't. That's not actually true. They don't shove you into endgame. Why would you even bother having the old content? Well, Snoo, that's a great question, and that's something they just changed in the last month or so, which is they've actually repurposed all of the old content, and now when you level up a character, you can pick an old expansion to play through, and that's your leveling experience, essentially. It's actually very cool. They've done a great job at utilizing all that old content instead of removing it from the game. So now it can be enjoyed on a level up experience. And also, don't forget transmogs, so you can go back to do those old raids and enjoy the old content to, you know, turn your gun into something from Molten Core or one of the ancient raids. I'm really glad that actually that they preserve the old content. A lot of games, you know, Destiny's receiving a lot of flack right now for, you know, torching the old content. I think it's actually really cool that they leave it there, and not only that, but they've actually repurposed it in an interesting way that lets people experience it again in a meaningful fashion. Yeah, you know, Cyber Exile, I go through phases where I have like a bunch of alts, but thankfully I've begun to control my alt addiction in the recent years. I like to stick with one. I think the Hunter really helped with that. Now when I get like the alt craving, I just go out and hunt some rare pets. Yes, Croc, that's it's a big deal. Like, you can say, hey, guess what, everybody? I'm starting a new character. For this character, I'm going to level up in the Burning Crusade. And you get to play through the Burning Crusade and do your whole leveling experience there. Or whatever expansion you like. And then when you're done with that, you get into Shadowlands. So you still have to play through Shadowlands, but get this! So you're forced to play through the Shadowlands leveling experience the one time through the story content, right? Which is important for selecting Covenant and all that stuff, but once you do it on one character, you can run adventure mode on other characters in Shadowlands, which is just like assorted random quests. It's very similar to, like, you know, Diablo bounties, I would say. You wish they balanced the other expansions. They did, Cyber Exile, they did. You won't have to go through a whole expansion in order to get to Cap, if you don't want to. So I think, honestly, that must have been a massive undertaking to tweak all those old expansions and all that fun stuff to work. And it does now, and you can actually... The leveling process is quicker than ever. My soul is loose.
Let your fears consume.
Is this it? No, those are hands. Where's my soul?
There is no escape for you. Relinquish your soul. Does not end here.
Whatever. This group is obviously really good for this dungeon.
Looks like we might have some real contenders here.
Yes, Swords and Wolves, what they did to reuse all the old content is really great. And that's again, that's not technically part of this expansion, but it is part of the new leveling experience, so I highly recommend it. If you're creating a new character, you can go right from scratch and enjoy one of the old expansions before Shadowlands. You want to do Pandaria? Go do Pandaria. You want to do Wrath of Lich King? Go for it. What do orcs think for eat for Thanksgiving? Well, they actually have a Thanksgiving event in-game. It's not called that, but you get the drift. I do wonder one day when they're just gonna say, you know, screw it. Humans and orcs can live together in harmony because we don't fight each other really anymore anyway. Can't wait for that to be some big, bold new expansion mechanic where the Horde and Alliance must come together for reals. No, Snoo. The thing is, the leveling is actually, you're still leveling up, you're still learning new abilities. They've just sort of streamlined it, so you're still going to learn how to play your class along the way. It just won't take you 100 hours to level a character. It works. I've leveled several new characters through the system. They do not feel slow, Cyber Exile. Like I said, it's all scaled. They did a marvelous job with that. Tim J, you know, story in MMOs is always really rough because some players are just gonna plow through whatever content you put in and just start trying to, you know, min-max the endgame systems. Lots of players will. You know, it's always fascinating when they do tests, like you see, you know, we'll create this activity. They're always going to find the shortest path to the end, right? So it's a shame to see all that story get lost, which is why I'm glad that they're retaining it in some fashion. But yes, this expansion especially, they are emphasizing the fact you need to go through the story at least once before you select your faction or your covenant and begin experiencing the endgame stuff. You don't have to take my word for it, Cyber Exile, but having leveled 4 characters through the new leveling system, I think it's really well done. You get to go have your taste of the old expansions, like you get to Burning Crusade, for example, which I did a couple times because I love that expansion. You can kind of pick where you want to go when you're there. Like you don't want to do all the Hellfire. Oh god. You don't want to do all of Hellfire Peninsula. You can go right to Zangamar from the Grand or whatever you like, and do some quest change there. You can do dungeons if you like. You don't have to. It's quite nice. I'm getting any loot in here. Which is fine, because I haven't really been paying attention to any mechanics, which is also fine, because this isn't a heroic or anything, okay? This is just a regular dungeon, as we call them.
Return to the central chamber. It's time to begin the main event.
When can I queue for heroics? I wonder how far I am away from doing that. I need 6 more item levels. Can start gearing up for mythics. But of course, the big highlight of today is I think we're gonna go check out the Maw and Torghast.
Soldiers of Maldraxxus, are you ready for some carnage?
Yeah.
Rising stars now face the longest reigning champion the Theater of Pain has ever known, Ordretha, the Endless Empress.
That sounds very intimidating.
At long last, a worthy contender.
Oh, I'm really glad you like that, Quinn. Snoo. The regular dungeons are a cakewalk, sure. Remember, there's regular, heroic, and mythic. You're not supposed to be dying in standard dungeons too much. Maybe like the first day when nobody knows like the mechanics, but I wouldn't sweat regular dungeon difficulty. You're supposed to win. Now heroic adds more mechanics and a little, you kind of have to know what you're doing in heroic. You have to at least obey the mechanics, right? And then in mythic, yeah, obviously. I wouldn't just be able to sit here and shoot. I'd have to be like, oh, what does this boss do? I got a ring. Ring of Perpetual Conflict, 158. Oh, I already have 158s. This one's got leech though. But you know what? Yeah, I'll give it to. Someone in my group asked if they could have the item, so I'm gonna give it to them. Because I'm a nice guy. I already have 2 158 rings, so I'm okay doing it. Who cares? It's a 158 ring. We'll get another one. Hey, what's up? Welcome. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we're definitely treating you. That's what we're doing it.
The master will not be questioned.
Dimension Fashion Souls. Are you that way with WoW? Absolutely. They've really facilitated that over the years. The transmogrification options are very extensive. Have you seen the transmog options? Let me show you here. Every item you collect, you can basically wear. Okay, it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's not too far off. Check this out. So basically, any kind of helmet I've ever collected over the course of my WoW career that can fit on my hunter, I can transmog to look like it. You basically have an enormous wardrobe of options on every slot. It's very enjoyable to mix and match your outfits, collect sets. and get zany with your look. Fashion souls is very, very much of a thing here, and collecting looks and stuff is very, very satisfying if you're not doing anything else, right? Hero, yes, this is the same mic that Liana has. Although I think she's actually upgraded her mic. This is the Quadcast S HyperX. To answer the next question, you always wanted to get into WoW. Is it easy to get caught up regarding the lore? Not if you want to do everything. It's easy to get caught up with the current lore, yes. Is it easy to get caught up on every single thing that's happened in 16 years? Not particularly. That said, you only really need to know what's going on right now. You don't really need to know what happened in the Burning Crusade. It's not particularly relevant to what's happening right now. I think they do a good job at focusing on what's important at the moment. Yeah, they have not done that, Cyber Exile. Transmog is, you gotta go find the stuff. Now, there are some things, there are mounts and stuff that you can buy with microtransactions. That's a thing. But... oh god, I'm gonna die. I got no heals. Wait, no, I'm out of heals. I need to make some potions. Fighting this rare mob here. Hopefully it drops something cool. Basically, to answer the question about lore, you don't need to know what happened 10 years ago in the game. You only need to know what's relevant right now, and relevant to this expansion, which they will tell you pretty explicitly several times over the course of the experience. So you don't really have to worry about that too much. I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. As a non-WoW fan, is it worth jumping into? Listen, you've probably tried WoW before. If you don't already enjoy, you know, the WoW experience, I don't know that this expansion is going to change that for you. It probably won't. Straight up, like, in a lot of ways, you already know if you like MMOs and WoW already. Are there changes in quality from expansion to expansion and different mechanics and feature sets that they add? Yes. But at a base level, if you've tried the game, you pretty much know where you're at there. You know, Nathanos, I don't want to put any spoilers here, but Nathanos is no longer an issue. So, no, not relevant to the current status of things. You're very welcome. I'm here to answer questions. I don't think this is going to be like a transcending experience for you to be like, oh, I hated WoW before, but now with Shadowlands, I love WoW. That's not going to happen. But if perhaps you didn't like one expansion, and you did like other expansions, this might bring you back, yes. But it doesn't fundamentally change the fact that if you've tried WoW before, this isn't gonna, you know, change your overlaying opinion. It's exhausting? Oh, no. It can be a lot of fun, depending on your activity. You know, you could... that's sort of the cool thing about today WoW, as opposed to old school WoW. Where there's one thing you do at the end game, more or less. You do it in different ways, but there's one thing you do. Now there's room for all kinds of different play styles, including relaxed play styles. Are you still telling Chuck Norris jokes in the Barrens? Not really. Although that's not really a thing anymore. Well, I have a lot of issues with the story over the last year, the Sylvanas arc, etc. Again, I'm not going to go into too finer points in case people are interested in that kind of thing. I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, I did not care for that. But I do think this expansion, that the world building for each of the factions is well done. I'm having a really cool time identifying with my vampire brethren that tear the souls out of sinners. Alright? Sue me. Actually, no, Snoo. As I have said, that used to be the way things were. Now Endgame has many, many, many different progression paths, raids being just one of them. And now they've even added a new one with Torghast, which we're going to go check out as soon as we do one more world quest in this zone, okay? Let me find a world quest, we'll go do it, and then we'll bounce to do Torghast. Where do we go? We only got one over here, alright. Gotta find a flight point. Kevin, you always enjoy videos and live streams, man. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. If you're if that's one good thing in that conversation, Snoo, is the conversation about, you know, the raiding endgame, which was the be-all end-all in vanilla. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I lived vanilla. You have no idea, all right? I played more of that game than is healthy for anyone, in a fashion that probably wasn't healthy. And, you know, raids were it. And that was the system at the time. Now you have a little, you know, you get to pick what kind of activities you like and do them. Are you going to get some of the best gear from raids? Yes. Are you going to get awesome stuff that isn't from raids? Yes. Can you just be the player that logs in and does daily stuff? Yes. Can you do... It's really attempting to hit all play styles. Over the years, they've gotten better at that, I think.
Another satisfied patron.
It's impossible to cater to every type of MMO player at the same time, but they're doing a good job. Do I have a macro for random mounts? I do! Yes, Hero. They actually have that in the game. It's called Favorite Mount. Check this out. You can use this little icon here at someone's random favorite mount. So you go through your mount list and you click favorite on the ones that you want to be potentially summoned when you click it. And it will summon that mount. So depending on how I'm feeling, I go through my mount list and pick different mounts to put in my favorites. It's really handy. I am not a mount collector. I am a pet collector. And I don't mean hunter pets. I mean the other pets. Whatever your preference, there's always something fun to collect. And I like collecting rare pets. I've got 328. That's not actually that great compared to many other pet collectors, but it's a respectable collection for me, I think. Guys like, you know, the old school Andy Mack, he is a mount collector. He collects mounts. How am I liking the expansion so far? Well, I'm only one day into quote-unquote endgame, but so far so good. I think I like the new systems. I think I like the new clan hall, or whatever you want to call it. The new faction halls. I think they're cool, but I've only unlocked one of the features so far. I gotta unlock the rest of them to see how they shake out. Off topic, what are you looking forward to the most in 2021? Diablo 4, right? Hey... Yeah, that'll happen. No, okay, come on, let's be real. Elden Ring, obviously, okay? Oh, I gotta get that flight point up there. That's the problem. This is gonna be a journey, isn't it? Let's go to the Sanctuary of the Mad. We'll go from there.
My master did say to...
Oh, you know... The thing is, this product is... I hate calling it a product. Whoever started calling it a product earlier today, you've ruined me. The game has changed so much over the years. You know, I think there's room for new devs and new voices and new ideas to hit the game for sure. In fact, in some ways, I think it needs that to... I think there's a danger in just resting on its laurels. I always like more iteration than less. Take chances, you know what I mean? So I actually think that could be a good thing in the overall course. Obviously, you need to... keep what's expected going, but I also think that, you know, bigger, bolder, new fun stuff rather than safe, I'm always going to respect that. I know, you know, from various standpoints that's not what's wanted, but that's where I'm at. It sounds like they're reinventing the game with every X-Pack. Not really. They iterate very carefully, to be honest with you. you can still do all the same activities you've always loved in the game. That's a great question. You know, that WoW 2, people get very attached to their characters and their achievements. Making a WoW 2 would, you know, ostensibly, they have to figure out a way to... Whoa, what the hell is this? Why am I taking some... Wow, that guy hit really hard. Really hard. Oh, yeah, Cyberpunk. That's cool. That's cool. I don't know that they reinvent the game. It's basically, it's a reset so that you can get on board if you're not caught up. Like, some people fall off mid-expansion, right? So maybe you play the expansion, you do a few dungeons, you do a few raids, and then you come back and you feel completely lost. Expansions function as that hard reset for everybody. Everybody starts on the same, at the same, oh. Well, I can't go in here. I wanted to get this flight point, but this place has elites guarding it. Why is that? That's scary. That's really bizarre. Maybe I could get camouflage and sneak in. Alright, we're gonna try it. Whatever. We'll just be real careful. My favorite MMO changes because MMOs change. My favorite MMO of all time, I mean, it's nostalgia, so it'd probably be EverQuest. Actually, no, it wouldn't be EverQuest. It'd be Dark Age of Camelot, but again, time and place. That was an experience that I'm never getting back, alright? Hey, you really enjoy our magazines. Thank you! Thank you so much, Death by an Angel. It's a complicated entity, so I understand. Listen, making a WoW 2, God, I can't even imagine what a cluster that would be, alright? I get it, and eventually one day it will happen. But that day isn't today, and I think right now they're doing a pretty good... Based on what I've played of this expansion so far, I think they're doing a pretty good job iterating on what people are looking for. Torghast especially. I want new stuff, and you know, it's very difficult for them to keep... You can never keep MMO fans happy, that's the thing. Because we eat the content up. We eat it really hard, okay? We play 12 hours a day sometimes. And we go super hard, and anything they put out, we just destroy. You know? They can spend a year making something that we devour in a week. It's tough, I get it. It's a challenge. And I hope that, you know, procedural generation tools and stuff like that can help make encounters
Muck pools are the ideal place to dredge up new treasure.
Thanks, Tim J.
Amongst
You haven't played since Pandaria? Wow. So, Loose Guy, you don't have to play the other expansions to get into the latest one. It's going to put you on board right here. If you level up a new character, you can play through one of the new expansions if you like on the way. I'd play through Legion if I were you. Or, go play through one of the old ones. I love the old ones. I had a good time playing through Wrath of the Lich King and Burning Crusade on some of the new characters. They changed the leveling system completely. Honestly, that is one of the biggest changes that is part of this expansion that isn't, like, you know, explicitly called out as part of this expansion. As well as sociable. It's not like it was. Back in the old days, you had to make friends to play the game. That was the whole game. Times changed. And I think that's been a double-edged sword. Obviously, you don't get to make as many friends as you used to. But it's also, you don't have to make friends with jerks to get things done. Or be in abusive situations in guilds or anything like that. Because there was a whole lot of, like, you know, whatever. Let's use the blanket term toxicity back in those days, too. Which now you don't have to engage with. If you want to play the game by yourself and enjoy it, you can. You have that option. That was never an option before. You had to play with other people. Yeah, you absolutely can. And that's part of, like, you know, I see the good and the bad there. If you are looking to find a community of people to play with, that's still a very valid way to play. That's how I play, alright? I'm not playing with them now, but I play with a friend group that I've been playing with for over 10 years. And we have fun. You know, I play with people that I met back in Burning Crusade when it came out. It's just not a mandatory aspect of the game anymore, and it can be more difficult. You've got to go out and seek those social relationships now, instead of being forced into them. And as you saw, yeah, I did go through a whole dungeon a minute ago without saying a single word. But again, some of that is player choice, okay? That is also true, Cyber Exile, yes. By the same token, like, you know, not everybody wants to have the raid experience, you know, the old school raid experience where there's just one person barking orders and everybody getting screamed at, you know, the classic legend of the 50 DKP minus that we love bringing up. But you do, Zang. See, that's the thing. They've changed it so this game you don't have to treat it as an obligation like you did in the past. If you want to play it as a modern-day game of service with not nearly as much obligation as you would to, you know, vanilla WoW raid paradigm, you don't have to.
I am certain whatever was dredged up will aid our cause.
That's up to you. Anyway, I'm pretty hot in the expansion right now. Obviously, it just came out, but it looks like there's a lot of cool endgame stuff to get into. Yes, Cyber Exile is correct. They have made it so over the years that you now get to pick your level of engagement with the game, essentially, as to how hardcore you want to take it. If you want to be a mythic raider, if you want to be a daily player, you want to do your weeklies, you want to do your dailies, you want to do your world quests, you want to do regular dungeons, you want to do heroic dungeons, you want to do mythic dungeons, you want to do tour guides. It's about options, baby. It's about options. What are my thoughts on Elder Scrolls Online? Elder Scrolls Online is a game that has improved massively since launch. And that game, whenever I go back to it, it sucks me in really hard for like 2 weeks. And I play it really hard for 2 weeks, and then I fall off of it completely. That's generally how that game goes for me at this time. That's my thoughts. That said, it is so much better today than it was at launch. Yes, this game does look cool. In fact, I think they did an excellent job. I gotta give mad praise to the environment artists on this one. I think they absolutely nailed different feels and looks for the zones, and that's extremely difficult with the age of this parent product, you know? I think they did an incredible job delivering on the aesthetic of all the new zones and their feels. That is definitely one thing that I'm going to praise up and down about this expansion, regardless of how I feel about other things in the end. Okay, that's not... You get mad stronger in this game, Zang. We're going to get mad stronger in just one day here. Early on, when you hit cap, you get power very, very quickly. Now, I'll show you the Soulbind system when we get back to Sinfall here, which is one of the new endgame progression systems. I think you're going to like it. Let me show it to you. I'll give you a little bit of a tour through my Sanctum, although my Sanctum is very small. It's the new... It's not player housing, and I do wish that someday WoW would go full player housing, but it's instead of having like a clan hall or a class hall, you have a faction hall where I'll hang out with my other vampire brethren and do kinds of upgrades and stuff. You'll see. Hang on. We're going to go there right now.
My master did say to serve.
Oh, you're talking about ESO, yeah. Do I always use the default UI or do I have add-ons? I'm using default right now because the expansion just came out and I don't want to fiddle with them getting updated every day. If I do start doing like raids again, then I will use add-ons. Generally, I'll just get Recount or Deadly Boss mods and use default UI if I'm doing standard content. When you pick a covenant, do you have to spend more time in the thematic zone? Yes, Jamie, you will spend more time in the zone. And you'll get to engage with the characters in very fun ways. Let's take a look at that right now. I am heading to Sinfall, which is my class hall, my covenant hall, okay? So only the vampires get to go here. Now, obviously, this is a very unupgraded class hall. I've got a couple of perks, but I'm going to unlock a lot more. So first on our tour, I'm going to turn in the daily that we did, the daily world quest thing. So let's do that first, and then I'll show you around. BDO is beautiful, and it has cool combat, and my why is this locked? That's weird. I've never seen that before. Oh, is it because I'm in combat? My pet is getting killed somewhere. Luckily, as a hunter, I can clear my combat status. So the vampires of Revendreth use these cool mirrors to teleport all over the place. And we get to add more of them, so we're going to get a teleport network. That's one of the things that we can create across the zone. But first, we'll go through it bit by bit. Let me walk you around.
Which boss sent you?
What we just did there was just do a daily for a little bag of loot. What was in the loot was not that impressive. I got a bunch of, I got some big reputation and money, essentially, from that. But, as you saw, all we did was a couple of world quests. I don't expect to get massive loot. Okay, yes, Order Hall. Let's take a walk around. Obviously, this is a fledgling Order Hall, so we don't have all of the perks unlocked, but let's take a look at what we do have unlocked. We have Soul Binding. This is faction-specific. And, okay, let me break it down for you. Essentially what this is you get a new sort of talent tree tied to your faction. And you get 3 different options. So right now, all I've got is Nadja the Mistblade. But as I progress through the reputation system of Revendreth, of the Venthyr, I'll unlock this other dude, Theotar the Mad Duke, and General Draven. And they all have different trees. And, okay, so they all have their own abilities. Like with Nadja, I get Thrill Seeker, where I'm getting... Basically, when I kill stuff, I get haste. It's nice. Pretty good for a DPS, although the timing isn't always great. Now, you're saying, Dan, but wait, that doesn't give me any agency over the systems. I'm just picking one and putting points in. Well, so they have, each one of these characters has abilities that you get, that you pick, that they come with standard, but then you have slots. So you're slotting in different things that you find to these. Like this Echoing Call perk, I put that in there myself. So when you do dungeons and you do world quests, you can find these different conduits, and you plug the conduits into the tree to customize your character. So this is a customization system. This is an endgame system, an alternate advancement system. It's not artifact power, but it fills that same sort of endgame alternate advancement role. So, and you're going to have different characters with different abilities depending on which covenant you side with. So these characters are completely different than the characters that the other covenants have in what they can do. Like this guy, like he's got, chance to, there's all kinds of weird stuff, weird and cool stuff that you can do with that system. So the other factions all get different soulbind characters, which is interesting. And again, I didn't pick the one that's optimum for my combo, but that's okay. Here's our Sanctum Upgrades. We've barely started on our class hall. I need to get 300 more anima to make one of these new things. Like I got a transport network. So this reactivates network of mirrors. As you saw, we were going through some mirrors earlier. And then these can be upgraded further as you get more anima, which is basically it's not artifact power, but it's an endgame resource. So this will let me get a system of mirrors that will teleport me around Revendreth and take me to secret areas, ostensibly giving me access to new people to fight. Network allows me to lead to new discoveries and unique rewards. And it even gives me a portal back to the main hub area, which is really cool. This one, siphon anima from different parts of Revendreth for new adventures. I get to fight enemy champions, special treasures, new world quests, and daily quests. Man, I should get that one soon. It's obvious I should prioritize that. new enhancements and elite foes. This is the one I have unlocked because it was the cheapest one. This is a command table. Everybody's familiar with how command tables work, but if you're not, I'll go show it to you in a second. This one is unique to Venthyr in its nature. We actually get to create the Ember Court. So the Venthyr are a race of aristocratic, bureaucratic vampires who like to throw parties. We actually get to do that. We actually get to throw parties, invite VIPs, and throw these elaborate soirees. And included in that is we get a butler to help host. We get rewards from the guests that attend the events. We get more guests, and I don't even know how the mini game plays out for these parties, but I'm hankering to try it out. It's gonna be cool. We get to hire staff and please the guests, and they give us rewards, I guess. I don't know exactly how this Ember Court works. Every different covenant has different stuff in this Sanctum Upgrade system that we take our anima and plug into. The only one that I've got unlocked so far is the table, since that's the cheapest one to unlock, and I've only been 60 for a day, so... If you've played other recent WoW expansions, you know exactly what this table is. Over the course of the expansion, we'll get new characters, and we'll plug them into slots, and they'll go out and do adventures, essentially like a mobile timer game that I believe you can even check and update on your mobile app. But again, that's only one aspect of the guild hall, of the Covenant Hall. Not a big deal. If you hated it in other expansions, again, I don't think it's going to offend you here. It's you can pretty much ignore it if you don't want it, but it's extra stuff, you know. And this is where you're going to go and turn in. You also have, okay, another thing of the Covenant Hall that I want to check out, that I want to show you real quick before we move on, is a new system where you have faction-specific armor. Now, obviously, you're going to get faction-specific transmogs and mounts, which are very cool.
Indulge these wares. What is one more sin?
But you also get this stuff called, it's Fear Stalker or Ebony Dreadspine here, and you can actually take your Covenant armor. I've got one piece because they give you one, and you can upgrade it after you do stuff. And these are sets. They are essentially Covenant sets, which help you do better stuff in your Covenant, more or less. Are they going to be as competitive as raid stuff? Definitely not, probably, but they're cool, and they're cool looking. Anyway, that is, that's a quick look at my newbie Sanctum. Now we're going to go to Torghast. Yes, Cyber Exile, you can switch covenants. Originally, back when we did the cover story for this game, the idea was to make covenant switching very difficult and painful. But I guess there was a lot of backlash to that, so covenant switching is... If you feel like you're not getting the most out of your covenant, covenant switching is supposedly very easy. And not too punishing. I have not done it, obviously, as I've only, been 60 for a day, but that's the word on the wire. Thoughts on the X-Pack so far? Looks good. Looks good. We just hit 60, we've done some dungeons. Seems pretty great so far. Thanks for being here, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining me for a little bit of morning or afternoon, or even evening, depending where you're at. World of Warcraft Shadowlands. We're going to go check out Torghast now. This is one of the new things in the expansion. It's a concept that Blizzard has played with before, although very different implementation this time around. The concept of taking sort of a procedurally generated experience with rules into the MMO to make a variable experience that can be enjoyed many times over instead of just doing dungeons with the same bosses over and over. So they tried this, a little bit with the islands in BFA. However, those, you know all about that. Those didn't go over too well. But taking that concept to this experience is different. You can go in there by yourself, you can go in there with a friend, you can go in there with a group, you can do whatever you like. And it's different every time. You get different power-ups and ways to craft your character throughout the course of a run. if you're familiar with other roguelike games, specifically if I want to make a quick relation, Slay the Spire will do it right. It's sort of a Slay the Spire WoW experience. We're gonna go into it. You can see it. You're gonna see it firsthand. We're gonna jump in there. It's a little more curated than Rifts because Rifts don't have the element of getting different power-ups every run. I mean, they do in like shrines and stuff, but not like this. You're gonna like pick different things and choose your path through. You'll see. Fight different bosses, get different things. Floor layouts are different, enemies are different, and the power-ups that you're gonna get are different. And it scales with the number of players, so you can go with however many, or solo, if you like. But to get to Torghast, we got to go to the Maw, and to get to the Maw, oh my God, how did you get that mount? How do you get the Toad mount? I need. Give mount blocks. Alright. We're going to the Maw. So the Maw is the bad zone. This is essentially hell. However, we're not going to spend too much time in the Maw proper right now, although it is a zone full of different things to do. We're going to be going right into Torghast.
Rule 4. Maintain a list of those who might wish to end your existence.
Which is accessible by this portal here after you unlock it.
Your presence on this list is among the least of the Morsworn's functionaries.
Welcome to Torghast, Tower of the Damned. Fine. My quest here is to... Oh. Interesting. I'm supposed to go back to Venari. I thought I just talked to Venari. Alright, well, let's go talk to him again. Perhaps my conversation with him was a little bit too brief. What class am I? I am a hunter. This is a specialized ranged DPS class that has 3 different specializations. One does not use a pet and just focuses on range damage. One, as you can see, uses multiple ranged pets if you want. Multiple pets. And then another one, actually the survivalist.
Partner, let us see how long you last.
Weird. Why am I not getting credit for this quest? Yeah, and then there's a survivalist spec, which is melee hunter, that also uses a pet. Kind of the oddball in the hunter spec. Oh, this is it. What is this? A domination lock. Oh! Now this has unlocked the Rune Carver. I think this is the dude that makes us legendaries.
I remember you.
Anyway, so I'm a hunter. I like ranged damage, so I am a class that does damage from range, and I have a little pet to tank for me too. It's fun.
As I can.
It's a whole group in one.
The past is a shattered mirror. No. What is something else? A mortal. No. Yes. A mortal walks the maw all the way to my prison to save me. To use me. I was used by him. A jailer. Used to make My memories. Did you take them? No, no. He took them.
I bet we have to save this guy.
Used me for his purpose. Then left me here. Bereft of memory for how long? It matters not. Time, after all, is not a construct of death.
Very deep, Rune Carver.
Walker, you come, you go. To free me? Perhaps. To aid me? Yes. To aid me as I aid you. Fate, you see, has bound us.
Alright.
What have you found?
Find a stolen memory of the Rune Carver.
Go carefully into the darkness.
Okay. We should probably do this. This seems like a system that we want to unlock as soon as possible. So we're leaving Torghast for the moment. Because it looks like the memory of the Rune Carver that we have to collect is in the Maw itself. So hey, I said we weren't going to the Maw, but we're in the Maw. We're doing the Maw now. Can't mount in here. This is hell. So there's no mounting. And it's very dangerous. Lots of stuff out here that can kill us. Luckily, there's going to be a ton of players in the zone at all times, so you're not going to be alone here pretty much ever. We need to track down this creature and destroy it to collect the jailer's, not the jailer's, the Rune Carver's memory. So we can start, ostensibly, he can start carving runes for us. Now this zone is extremely dangerous. Picking a path through it is dicey. Now, Cyber Exile, wait, I didn't finish. You didn't let me finish. There are different like little dread mounts that you can get in the zone at various places, so you can mount. And I bet later on in the expansion we'll be able to earn the ability to unlock mounting in the Maw, right? That seems like a very good possibility to me. But there are temporary mounts that you can grab as you move through the zone. In case you have to go very far. In this case, we didn't have to go too far. As you can see, one of the reasons I like the Hunter class is sort of having a pocket tank for standard encounters. My pet can handle all the tanking while I sit there and do the damage. It's like having a whole group by your lonesome. I mean, not really, but you know, that's the class fantasy. Alright. We also got a Wailing Coin, which is a different quest. So that's nice. What you may have not noticed is that participating in that little adventure here in the Maw has put a pip on my jailer bar at the top of the screen here. As I do more in the Maw, the jailer gets more mad at me, and eventually this zone gets way too dangerous to stay in. So you only get to do a certain amount of daily activities in the Maw. It's sort of a way of progression gating in this particular aspect. to make sure you don't like just stay in them all day and grind out everything that you could possibly get. A lot of the endgame systems are tied to this. Well, not a lot. There's a bunch of different endgame systems, but some of the endgame systems are tied to progression in this zone. But anyway, we've got the Rune Carver's item here, so we're going to turn in this thing. And the coin that we picked up.
All mysteries will be revealed. Procure something of value.
Now we're going to go back to Torghast to turn in this thing to the Rune Carver that we have found. Or Undead Prometheus, as Cyber Exile called him.
We must stop him. We want.
Alright. Discover a way to break him free. Well, that makes sense. Makes sense that we'd have to set him free in order to use his powers. Now, what is the way to set him free, though? We should probably go ask our real friend out here. I hope you're having a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining me here on this day stream of Shadowlands.
I trust you are not followed.
Yeah, Raisin. Purchase an Anima Superfire.
Return only if you must.
Alright, what is an Anima Superfire? Alright, I got it. Now I need to get 5 Molten Anima.
Will that be all?
Okay, let's go get some Molten Anima. I bet these creatures of hell drop the Molten Anima. Fire creatures, most likely. What do you think? So here, I was talking about this. There are mounts that you can grab here. Shade Hounds that you can ride temporarily in the zone. They're all over the place, though, so... if you need one, you can get one. It's kind of like renting a bike or something. Oh, I got a patrol map. I don't know what that is, but hey, I'll take it. And there is a Molten Anima. We get a couple more of those. I bet these fire critters drop. What do you think? Oh yeah, there's another one. Alright, this is going pretty smoothly. I'm getting that anima that we need. There's also a resource that drops down here called Stygia, which we can spend at that vendor that we saw earlier for unique Maw rewards. You may have noticed that my character does a lot of yelling. I got lots of cooldowns that make me scream. Alright, cool. We got all the ammo we need. Easy peasy. I can't imagine that unlocking the rune carver was that easy, but maybe, you know, it's an important thing that we do. Yeah, Croc, I don't know why my character's so loud. I wonder if I can change the voice. I'm not sure. I don't think so. The barbershop is more advanced now than it used to be. But yes, my character screams a lot. As I pound my cooldowns, alright?
Do you feel the maw tearing at your mind?
Yeah, I do. I do, as a matter of fact.
I will detain you.
Alright, we're gonna go break the rune carver free. You're seeing this live, in action, the rune carver being saved right now, right here. Torghast, what up? We haven't even actually gone into Torghast proper yet. But it's important to do these quest chains as soon as you can. I mean, Croc, you're not wrong.
I recall.
Ooh, cutscene! Chance to hydrate.
Yes. Bonds weakening.
Well, we got halfway there. Collect 1,020 soul ash in Torghast. How does I do that? Okay, let's go get some soul ash.
Price. The ashen remnants of souls lost within this.
I'm done with that. I wanted to go to Torghast anyway. Let's get some soul ash.
And mortal. Acquire what remains.
Alright, let's go to the... What is this? The Soul Forges. Oh, select a layer. Don't mind if I do. Ah, and you have to defeat the previous layers to go to the higher tiers. I get 120 soul ash for this? That's it? I need 1,000 soul ash to get this guy out. Alright, whatever. Alright, let's do this. I'm in here alone. It's like dungeoning on my own. And, like, remember how I said about the powers? We get our first one right here. Ooh. Hunter's Mark now increases damage the target takes from all sources. That's common. Don't want that. So these powers will cycle out after this mission. I only get these for this climb. However, I'll tell you right now, Golden Idol, which lets you see which enemies are carrying anima, is really, really good. We're going to take that. That way I know what enemies I have to kill as we go through to get more power-ups. It's really handy. That way I can skip a bunch of trash. Now there's all kinds of crazy stuff in here that we're gonna find. And hopefully big power-ups that we're gonna get. We're rescuing this soul. Every soul you rescue on one of these runs gives you 1% to all stats for the run. It can add up. So pretty much everything we get in this run is temporary. Except for maybe... Obviously the soul ash is going to be permanent, but... There might be some other rewards too. We'll see. Now, as I said, you can come here yourself, you can come here with a friend, you can come here with a team. And obviously, as you saw, this only gives me 120 soul ash. This is the easiest tier, but by completing this tier, I will unlock the next tier as an option for climbing. Welcome to Torghast. Is it a game changer for WoW? Maybe. Maybe, I hope so. Anyway, thanks for joining us on Periscope, Facebook, YouTube. You know, wherever you're coming in from today. I hope you're having a good time. You're having a relaxing time. So this direction had an extra power up. As you can see, it's a dead end, but a power up for us to pick. Enemies affected by traps deal 25% less damage for 10 seconds. Or disengage increases my movement speed by 3% permanently, stacking up to 30 times. That's a lot of movement speed. I'll just click disengage on cooldown now. Until I get to 30 stacks. See, because I have the golden idol, I can see that there's a power-up inside this urn. So basically, golden idol is really great because it's a power-up that lets you see all the other power-ups. Gain the spitting cobra talent. Okay, that's a good one. I'll take it. Wait, what? Complete the binding and take the soulbound armaments. Excuse me? Now, what does that mean? I do not know what that... Oh. Oh, it just gives me a temporary buff. Boo! I should have taken the permanent boost. Croc, I have no idea what that means. So far, I've only played 2 games on the PS5. Demon's Souls and Call of Duty. Oh, we can tell. See, look at that. The golden idol tells me that this dude has a power up on him. I mean, we would have had to kill him anyway because he's coming down the stairs. Oh. I caused maw rats to explode. But hey, you know, I didn't even get a choice on that one. Well, that's very cool, Croc. I like that website. You should go there. LOL. You beat 2 bosses in Demon's Souls, the game's going to take you 50 hours. If it's your first Souls game, I would expect it to take you around 30 to 40. If you use some of the Dan tips that I gave during my playthrough, it'll take you substantially less. Not your first Souls game and first time playing Demons. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. It might be slow starting, but it's not going to take you 50 hours. Yes, Low Reser, this is Shadowlands. welcome to the Shadowlands. It's been out for like a day now. And we're currently in Torghast, which is a new experience in the Shadowlands. In fact, we've gone over quite a few of the new mechanics and features already, but there are more to come. So I blow up maw rats when I kill them. Early impressions of Torghast. Well, we're so early on in Torghast. This is like literally the first floor of Torghast. Yeah, I'm responding to Twitch chat right now. Sorry, I haven't seen a YouTube comment in a while. I don't know if RestreamBot was sleeping or what. I do try to keep up on all the chats. Sometimes the RestreamBot gets tired and he doesn't. So I haven't seen YouTube chat in a while, probably like half an hour. I see you again now, though. Sorry, YouTube. RestreamBot was RestreamBot crapped out, so I haven't seen your comments in half an hour. So if you tried to tell me something and I didn't get to you, my apologies. I'll get you now. Swords and Wolves, the Dan tips I'm referring to are the ones that I did on the GI playthrough, which can be found right on our YouTube channel that I did last week. Great to see you and hear you again, YouTube. I was afraid y'all fell asleep on me. But sometimes the RestreamBot decides to crap out, and it did. So I haven't seen you on YouTube for about 30 minutes. If you feel like I wasn't responding to you because I was being mean, I wasn't. Flayer's Mark. Ooh. Misdirection. Concussive shot. Use that. Yeah, Snoo, I'm not on. I'm not watching the chat on all the platforms. I'm watching the chat through one centralized chat network, essentially. So I'm not. I didn't get to see that YouTube chat because the RestreamBot didn't give me that chat. Okay, it's not. It basically lets me watch one place to see all chat. Okay, but it decided to take a nap on me. So I apologize for that. There was a discussion about Wendy's that I missed. Oh my goodness. Well, we gotta have that again.
For you, I offer only the finest.
So you can buy buffs, which is really cool. Maximum health. I'm a hunter. What do I need that for?
You struck a hard bargain. Good share.
Snoo, if you want me to engage with it, yeah, because I didn't see it. Okay, so. And again, my apologies. RestreamBot can be pretty finicky sometimes. Eventually, I'll get like 10 monitors so I can see everything at once, but I don't have that set up right now. Started playing retail after Classic. Now level 55 BFA, but it's also easy. Does that change? Yes! The leveling experience will be easy, LeChuck, as it should be. everybody should be able to do that, right? But then as you get to endgame, you can sort of pick your... You can choose your own adventure about how hard you want the game to be. You will be able to challenge yourself and challenge yourself with others. Oh, and you can sometimes you can fall in the lava too. Don't do that. You know, I don't know if you can queue for pugs for this, Cyber, but you can solo it. And definitely go with friends. I don't know if you can queue with randos for it. That I have to explore yet. I don't think you can. When I was going through the Sanctum, yeah, that was a long time ago. A challenge tree tied to a reputation system. Sounds like time gating. And it is in a way, yeah. They can't give you everything at once, right? The mission table is still there, and yes, many players have disliked the mission tables. Some players still like the mission tables. It's not a, like I said, it is not the crux feature. One of the reasons people hated it from WOD was because it was like the most important thing you could do in your garrison and a time gate on top of it. Now it's basically a bonus engagement.
You are hunted.
It is certainly not the singular focus for you to acquire and level up your characters to get things. I think that was the reason why people didn't like it. Now it's just a side thing. I actually do like it. I think it's a fun thing to do while I'm in my garrison. My Covenant Hall. What are those dope cat ear headphones? These are the Razer Freaking Kitty. Release the Kraken, or whatever. You're debating picking up a new game. Already beat Demon Souls, which is awesome. Yeah, Demon Souls is really great. Damage done. What was the damage done penalty? Fractured. I don't know what that is. Ooh, increases Phantasma earned by 100%. But decreases damage done by 10%. I'm taking it. Yep. And they actually can change colors too if you want. Right now I have them on one base color, but... Jack, I'm not going to answer that question. And again, okay, so back to the earlier question about why they brought the table back, the war table. When people didn't like it. A lot of people didn't like it, but again, it was pretty much the singular thing that you did in your garrison. Now it is just one of many things that you can choose to do and engage with, so I think it's much more palatable. Yep, I know that, Peppers. It was mentioned that it was a divisive thing in the past, and it certainly was. Ooh, I got an epic disengage drops a random trap. Yeah, I guess we'll take it. Yep, Peppers, that's exactly what we were just talking about. Hey, rummage that fridge, Swords and Wolves. Rummage that fridge.
The mighty, the treacherous, all are bound here. Free them.
There's a dude here.
How do you serve the Margrave? Thank you, Mawwalker. I'm looking for my war sword. It's somewhere close by. I can sense it.
Alright, let's find your dumb war sword.
The cycle has brought you to me.
No. No, 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 Sub-Zero. Shadowlands is the first expansion to take wholly out of, outside of Azeroth, actually. This game takes place in the Afterlife. How many floors are in Layer 1? Patrick, we're about to find out. I don't actually know. Oh. Whoops! That fire really hurt. I did not think that fire would be that painful. I thought it would do a little damage. Well, we don't actually die, canonically, Cypher. While we are in the afterlife, we are not dead. We are the Maw Walker. Travel between the worlds. Oh my god, that does so much damage. Probably should have found a switch instead of trying to power mode it. Fire bad. Yes, Zhang, we are learning something today. Yes, so the Shadowlands takes you to different afterlives in the Azeroth universe. So where are all the dead humans that hate orcs? They're out there. You'll see all kinds of various souls and spirits as you progress through the Shadowlands. They're not in here, though. This is Torghast. This is like a new roguelike dungeon that you can do by yourself, with friends, or with a group. And right now we're trying to unlock the legendary rune carver. To what end? I don't know, but he probably makes legendary items. No, I don't think that we will. I think the Shadowlands is going to be Shadowlands. And that the next expansion will take us somewhere different. Although anything can happen. I think we might get like a new DLC. Not DLC. I guess it's not DLC. You know. I bet we'll see new areas as the expansion progresses, but not like full-fledged. We're not going to get a new Revendreth or a new, you know, Bastion or anything like that. But there will likely be some new areas to explore as the expansion goes on, as is the standard. Tar trap. Where is this dude's war sword? I've been all over this whole freaking dungeon, and I even went through the fire. Have you been to Snoo Snoo? We haven't been to a lot of some. The Maw has rivers of souls and all that kind of fun stuff to look at if you want. The individual dimensions, like the realm for sinners and the realm for holy warriors and the realm for, you know, those all have more specialized individuals that occupy them. But you're not going to see that kind of thing inside here, correct? Yeah, in the Maw there's an actual river of souls, if you haven't seen it yet, that fulfills that functionality. They give you a tour of the Maw right as you go into the Shadowlands, actually, to sort of onboard you. That is where you're going to see all of the souls in Azeroth of the last few years have been redirected to the Maw as a point of story. That is, in fact, one of our major reasons for being here. is that souls are not going to their intended destinations and they're all going to hell, regardless of what they did in life. Alright, I must have missed a major lever or a switch or something. Back to the fire. Thanks. Yeah, there are places that you can see it, Snoo. It's not up and in your face because it would be kind of distracting to see torrents of souls at all points in the game, but what you're looking for does exist. It's just not everywhere and in your face, because it would be kind of weird from a gameplay standpoint to see, you know, thousands of souls milling about at every location. Very distracting, yeah? But to fulfill that narrative, need, there are places, especially in the Maw, where there is a literal river of souls. Now, to be fair, Snoo, it's only one part of the afterlife. Many of these zones that we go to are only areas to prepare you for the next part of the afterlife. You only stay there if you really identify with the goals of that realm. In some cases, it's different from zone to zone. But you don't necessarily, for instance, stay in Revendreth once you've atoned for your sins on the sin stones and had all the evil tortured out of you. Jared, I like it a lot so far. And howdy to you. Come on, pet, taunt him. What are you doing? I mean, yeah, and choosing your covenant is a big choice, but one that you can change now. It used to be have much bigger implications and very difficult to change, but they changed that. Flayed Shy grants you the Flayer's Mark effect when cast and when it is removed. Interesting. Why not? Here's the dude's sword. We finally found it for you, buddy.
There it is. Thank you for your help.
Hook me up with a power-up. Acquire a bag filled with various bones and meats. Excuse me? Or I can get 300 Phantasm. You know, I'm feeling spicy. Let's get the bones and meats. Oh, they weren't kidding. It's literally just meat. Oh well, I can cook some stuff. Floor 6. Hopefully this is the final floor of Layer 1. Because the rewards for this weren't great. We were only going to get 120. I mean, this has been a really easy run. But we're only going to get 120 of the resource we need. 1,200 of to unlock the rune carver. Yep, looks like we got a boss. This looks like it's it. Julian, hello, welcome.
All goods and services for sale.
Buying some power-ups for this final battle here. I mean, the game has been going for a very long time. Obviously, the game has changed and iterated and innovated a lot over time. Oh, I just got immunity for all damage. That's a nice thing to have going into a boss. Immunity for a minute and a half. I guess it's too bad it doesn't affect my pet, though. That's a drag. I can stand in this and not care. I'm immune to everything, yo. You can't hurt me for another minute, yo. What up? Yeah, I do hope it's way more for layer 2. We had a pretty breezy time in layer 1. This is my main right now. I am planning to play Hunter this expansion, yes. Over the years, my main has changed many times, but I've never mained a healer. Everything else I've mained. Alright, my invincibility is going to wear off. Typically, I do change my class from expansion to expansion. It depends. Got my 120 soul ash. What's up? And a soul touched key. Interesting. I don't know what that does. Holy Paladins is vanilla. Wow. I don't think I could ever be a class that long. Ooh, I don't know. I'd like a mouse with haptic feedback. That'd be great. Just put it in my veins after DualSense, you know? Alright, well, we need a lot more Soul Ash, but I want to turn this key into Bolvar because it said he wants it. You've never been able to get into this game. No problem. I don't think every game is for everyone. I really don't. I've never been able to get into, you know, NBA 2K, all right? Or Picross.
Find anything of interest,
such as life.
Walker.
And that's
Do not
okay.
throw the jailer.
I know this is considered a revolutionary and radical thought to some folks out there on the internet, but you don't have to love every game that ever gets made, or every genre. Yep, still a monthly sub game, Julian. Duluth, have a great day. Alright, we gotta go back to... We gotta go back to... Oribos. And turn in this key to Bolvar. Accept Bloodborne. Bloodborne is for everyone, and if you dislike it, something is wrong with you. Says chat. I don't agree with that. I can see somebody not liking Bloodborne. It's okay. It is the best game of all time. But I'm still okay with people not liking it. Any Black Friday plans for me? I'll probably eat turkey and play World of Warcraft. Yep. You'd like to play an XCOM game in the WoW universe. That would be interesting. I'd like to play that game. Has the new content been challenging at all? Well, Era, we're only on day 1 of level 60. So it's very difficult to hit that raid and mythic dungeon challenge immediately. And Torghast is also a progression-based thing. I think that if you are looking for challenge, you are going to find it. However, a lot of that will be group-based. Torghast might provide that single-player challenge for you as well. As always, WoW's challenge is about opting into that challenge. It is not intentionally made to be difficult for all players. You've got to opt into more challenging and more rewarding content.
There is much.
That has always been there, I think, for people that are looking for it. Wow, 171 cape. Are you kidding me?
The chains of the past still bind us.
I guess in short, yes, there is challenging content available if you'd like to get there. But it doesn't start immediately. The leveling process is there to onboard you with the expansion mechanics and systems and story. Not sure about gamepad compatibility.
Your patronage is always...
Don't think it exists, but I'm not entirely certain on that. I don't play WoW on a gamepad and never would, I don't think. I mean, you can always rig up controllers to work with anything, right? Cyber Exile, I believe that was one of the original concepts. Was it for it to be less... I mean, I don't know how much of it is procedurally generated, and how much of it isn't.
I have limitless
It
time.
is certainly still, quite revolutionary for a game that is all about doing curated dungeons, so... I'm interested to see where it goes, but yes, the map system in PoE is great, those of you who have experienced it. I think that's probably one of the best parts of that entire game. Is the map system. They did a great job on that. I haven't particularly loved the last few leagues, but, you know, I'm sure they're working hard on PoE 2. What do I do about wrist pain? Gotta have a wrist bar, okay? If you don't have a wrist bar, you're gonna end up with a lot of... I ended up with a ton of wrist problems because I used to play without one. I had to go to the... I had some serious wrist issues. Ulnar nerve, carpal, you name it. Absolutely get a wrist bar for your keyboard. If you do not have one, do it. They're like $10. If you have to go further than that, get a wrist brace. Also an option. Yeah, when WoW came out, I moved immediately to it from EverQuest and Dark Age of Camelot. Well, we unlocked Soulforge Layer 2, which gives... Wait! Oh, I've already got... Wait a minute. I can only get the reward once from a floor? Is that what this is implying? I don't know. Not sure how the system works exactly yet, so... We do have another segment of Torghast open as well. Oh, this one gives more. But I'm a completionist. I feel like doing the other one first. Maybe they're on cooldowns to get rewards. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like you can queue up with randoms. But you could queue up with friends for sure. And since it can be soloed, you know. If I launch a flare into my tar trap. Or Hunter's Mark. Boo, these are all... When am I going to launch a flare into my tar trap?
Be consumed by darkness.
This is silly. What's the expansion this year? It's Shadowlands. I'm playing it right now. And the full price of all games bought is one. It's just this. You just have to get the expansion. That's it. And you get everything else. No, we don't know that, Snooska. We do not know. I didn't say that. This is our first day exploring it. I don't know all of the mechanics that go into this, alright? So let's relax on that for the moment without making any bold assumptions. Yes, you only need to get the latest expansion. You'll have access to everything. That we can speak authoritatively on. And yes, I highly recommend wrist support. Or playing a game like this will likely give you problems. I know it did for me.
You are hunted. Be wary.
Hey, what up, Dent? We don't have that cool golden idol perk this time, so I don't know where the power-ups are. Kill everything just in case. Yep. You only need to get Shadowlands to have all the expansions now. You'll be immediately caught up. In terms of having that content available to you. So we got a quest, a random quest encounter here.
Could I lend a hand? We must find Penthea. She can't have been taken far. Thank you, of course, for freeing me.
We must find Penthea. Okay. Yes, those were the good old... I remember those days, but no, you don't have to do that anymore. If you get the current expansion, you've got everything. And in fact, you can play through the old expansions during the level up process, which is neat. And a really cool thing, if you like, you know, if you missed a particular expansion, you can play through it as you're leveling up experience. They've had in-game voice for a very long time, actually, Zombies. NPCs. I don't know which of these have power-ups and which of them don't. That golden idol power-up is so good. Oh, God. Alright, this is already way spicier than that first one we did. Although I shouldn't have sat in front of the laser. That was probably my B. Getting killed by a GM. Back in the day, that was very common in MMOs, actually. GMs used to run events and stuff, not just Hadal tickets. I remember that was a big deal in like Asheron's Call and stuff like that back in the day. Where a GM would be like, "Yo, what up? I'm just gonna spawn myself inside a giant ogre and try to kill this town." Yeah, Pippers, we saw somebody in town with that today. How do I get that? I want that mount very badly. During the beginning of the stream, we saw somebody with that. It's the toad mount of that pet that I've got there. How do I get that mount? Because I must have that mount. If I have to change covenants, I will. Garden Seed drops an Ardenweld, and you take it to a place and plant it. Okay. Is it a guaranteed drop, or do I just have to go farm Ardenweld? I mean, I'll look it up, but if you want to tell me, I'll... We found your friend! Quest done.
There she is.
You got 3 seeds while questing. I didn't find any.
I thought I was
We
finished.
will find somewhere safer to hide. Thank you for helping us.
Increases maximum health by 100% and prevents knockback, but standing still temporarily reduces my movement speed. That's still good. 100% max health. Oh, but I get, like, rooted by standing still. Eek. Over a month? Zombies, that sounds wild to me as somebody who has certainly put in my fair share of tickets for things over my career in MMOs. That's a very long time. I can't believe that took that long to fix. And I also can't believe they didn't give you any extra time for that. Initial hours, very positive on this Weasel, but it's so hard to tell. As you know, with MMOs, the proof is in the endgame pudding, as they say. I don't want to look like a moron here and say, oh wow, it's so awesome, and then like have it, you know, I thought BFA was really killer out the gate too. In a general sense, I'm very positive on this expansion initially, okay? Not that I'm unwilling to share my initial impressions with you, I certainly am, that's what I'm here for. But at the same time, an MMO is a complex beast. That it doesn't simply get labeled with, hey, it's good, or hey, it's bad, within the first 100 hours. That said, very positive on it thus far.
A child of Bastion, undeserving.
I think it has a lot of different interlocking systems that give even more flexibility than before. So it's not just raids, world quests, dailies, and dungeons. You got Torghast here as an added element with the Maw. Torghast seems pretty cool so far. We're in it right now. Obviously, these are early Torghast stages.
Yes, mortal.
Thank you, Mawwalker. A relic of great importance to me lies somewhere within the tower.
Yes, yes we are. Guess who? It's me. Yes, yes they do, Zombres. There are always... They've been, no matter what else you have to say about the expansions, they've been excellent at at new, like, sort of, new mounts and customization and transmogs and all that fun stuff are definitely a thing that they have continued to support and encourage, actually. Mount collectors, pet collectors, and all that stuff. Yes, there's an Ardenweld toad. Somebody just said that in chat. Pippers, we gotta go farm that up. There's apparently a seed that drops in Ardenweld that you plant it, and then you get it. So, yes, I've got to find that. We're gonna go spend some time in Ardenweld at some point here. I absolutely need that frog. Can you imagine having that frog while I'm using 2 frogs as pets? I can. I can. No, I will never go Night Fae because I gotta be a vampire, but I get it. Night Fae is actually... If I was doing min-max, going for like maximum raid DPS and all that jazz, maximum mythic dungeon efficiency, I would be playing Night Fae as a Beastmaster Hunter for sure. But I'm not, and I don't care. Yeah, 2 ends though, rather. But yeah, I absolutely need that Ardenweld mount so bad. And I'm gonna get it. You can count on that.
You have found it. Your aid is most appreciated. Go in service, Mom.
Did they introduce a new race yet? Oh gosh, yeah. It depends how long you've played, Zombre. They put allied races in, probably way after you quit, which is basically like, yeah, they've added quite a few new ones. I'm playing a Dark Iron Dwarf right now. You can't really tell because I'm wearing my BlizzCon woolies, but you know, Dark Iron Dwarves. You probably played back when Dark Iron Dwarves were highly relevant, back in the Lower Blackrock Spire Molten Core days. There are lots of choices for you to pick from in terms of race at this point, yes. Compared to when you played. Yes, you're not wrong, Sneezoo. You're absolutely correct. Venthyr is the absolute worst choice for my class spec, and I don't care. I'm gonna look like an awesome vampire, and you could do more DPS than me, but I'm gonna look cooler, so I don't care. Yeah, the Venthyr male set looks great. I agree. The Night Fae male set looks like I'm wearing a bag, like a burlap sack. So forget that. Races affect race choices. I don't know what that means. But we're not talking about races right now, Zombre. What we're talking about is actually an expansion mechanic where you choose a covenant. So that's not race. In this expansion, you're going to side with one of 4 different Afterlife factions, which all have very different perks, endgame progression, mechanics. What do we want? Disengage cooldown. Strikes in melee. Hunter's Mark. Why are they trying to push Hunter's Mark on me? Boo, Hunter's Mark.
Until our next transaction.
Well, you know what? That one just gave me back what I paid for it, so let's get another one. Ah, the gnarled key. Door of Shadows. Acceleration. Oh, that's pretty good.
For you, I offer only the finest.
Yeah, Zombre. There's an animal cell nearby. Hey, thanks for the warning. I don't actually see one here, though. Oh yeah, we're at the gate, of course. Anyway, well, I'm trying to read chat too, Zombre. Give me a break. We're talking about very different things here in terms of like race, class, comp, and stuff, right? The expansion essentially gives you access to a Covenant Hall, which is, you side with one of 4 factions. It does give you abilities, it does give you cosmetics, it does give you non-cosmetics. It's very important. You get to pick one and side with it. I picked the vampire people. You essentially can pick winter druids, soul vampires, paladins and holy angels, or brutal undead proto-scourge. Okay, the root debuff I get, again, I took a Torghast buff, okay? That makes it so I have 100% more health, but I get rooted if I stand still. So, again, Slay the Spire kind of mechanics. I picked that. That buff is temporary for this run. Is the first raid, the Castle Nathria. Yes, that will be in Revendreth, where we'll fight the big bad of the one of the big bads of the campaign. Is it supposed to be like Karazhan? I don't know. I haven't played through it yet. Comes out in 2 weeks. Listen, everybody loves Karazhan. Karazhan is my favorite dungeon in the world of Warcraft. Old Kara, not new Kara, obviously. Some of that, I think, has to do with the dungeon design, which is immaculate. Some of it has to do with the fact that it was a 10-man dungeon, and I could raid with a much smaller group for the first time. It was really fun. I could just raid with my friends and not worry about all the drama and politics and other bureaucracy that went along with standard raiding at the time. People tend to look at old World of Warcraft and MMOs in general with very rose-colored glasses when it comes to how raiding and loot worked back in those days. God, it was such a disaster. Oh, hello. Random elite mob. Interesting. Soulstalker Valara. I bet you dropped something good. What is my stance on Black Desert Online? I reviewed it long ago. I think it has great combat. That's it. No, he didn't even drop anything. Oh, he gave a cool thingy. My attacks have a chance to create a zone of empowerment. Any player may collect it to get 25% damage and healing and 25% move speed for 10 seconds. My attacks have a chance for you to cause to fade away, reducing my threat for 6 seconds. While I'm under this effect, critical strike chances increased by 25%. Ooh. Hmm. If you didn't notice, those two enchantments were specific to that dude, Valara. So I guess you can only get those if you kill him. Ashen Phylacteries have a 10% chance to contain petrified pet food. Consuming petrified pet food will increase my pet's size by 100% and damage by 20%. Wow, okay. Oh, but only for 15 seconds. That's kind of dumb. But hey, whatever. I'm gonna take it anyway. I know, pet size. I saw pet size, I clicked it. I'm a simple man. Okay, so the goal, low reser, I gotta get the frog mount, okay? Once I get the frog mount, I gotta put both frogs out and feed them both items to make them large. And then I can have the most largest, chonkiest pet thing ever. It's gonna be amazing. There's another item in game that you can feed your pets to make them big. Like all the time. I gotta go farm them up. But first we gotta get the mount. I don't know if you saw the frog mount earlier, but it was beautiful. The most beautiful mount I've ever seen. And apparently all we gotta do is farm an Ardenweld to get the seed to drop. I don't want to be big. Just the toads, low resin. Just the toads. I want to be. It want to be me and 2 extremely large toad boys on a toad mount. Any current MMOs that you think could dethrone WoW? People don't make MMOs anymore, so no. MMOs are way too expensive to make and way too risky to make. If your MMO fails, your company goes under. That is why you see the new generation of pseudo MMOs, which are games of service that include, you know, instance-based fare that takes all the features and mechanics of MMOs without the large-scale risk to some extent. So, you know, the Destinies of the world, the Divisions of the world. What is my opinion of roguelike games? I love them. What do I think of Hades? Hades is currently my game of the year as well. I could change, but right now it is. I'm a big fan of roguelikes. This Torghast experience we're doing right now has its inspirations and roots in roguelikes. I mean, there's a very clear, like, Slay the Spire inspiration here in the Torghast experience and other roguelikes. I can't wait. I gotta get that toad, alright? Must have. As you can see, I've got a very nice assorted amount of power-ups this run that will disappear on the next run. Which is fine with me, because at least I won't have to get rooted every time I stand still. Yes, Zombre, there's a new toad mount in this expansion. It looks a lot like that toad pet that I have, chomping away at people. I cannot wait to get it. It drops in a certain zone, you plant it, and it grows, and I gotta go get it, like, right now. Yes, to answer the question from YouTube, I am a very old-school raider. I did Molten Core when it came out. I did, you know, Blackwing Lair when it came out. I don't professionally raid anymore.
Even a harvester of pride.
It doesn't suit with my lifestyle choices anymore, but I still do casually raid. What is my ranking of WoW expansions? Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Legion. This one could be up there. I don't want to speak too soon on it because I know people are gonna come after me later if something's bad in the end game that we haven't seen yet. But this one might be really good. I really like what we've seen so far. And we put Cataclysm dead last. The cool thing about the expansions is you get to enjoy any of them today, which is really neat. The new leveling up system, again, this is an unsung hero of this expansion because it's not actually technically part of the expansion. It's part of the new leveling experience. But what they did to change leveling and that kind of thing was really good. And I think it should be talked about at the same time as Shadowlands, even though it's technically not new content. A new MMO releases every few months. No, it does not. No, it does not. People have, in general, MMOs have been extremely reticent about existing. Since I think WildStar. I think WildStar was the one that gave all the big boys, all the big companies real pause about developing MMOs because WildStar showed you can invest like $1 billion, $1 trillion into something and then have it like cause complete capitulation if it doesn't take off. have many other games taken every feature set and mechanic of MMORPGs and repurposed it to suit smaller instanced sort of experiences? 100%, yes. Whoa, I get a companion for this? Dude! And I just found her in here. Yo! Torghast #1. John Cunningham says I sound distant from the mic. Is anyone else having trouble hearing me? I want to make sure that it's not just a John Cunningham thing, because I haven't heard that comment at all today. We've been going for about 3 hours. Feign death cooldown reduced by 15. Wow, no one told me. Let me turn up the gain. Hey, it's a new mic, new me. You know, I got this new thing. I think that turned it up. Let me know. I'm not sure. I've only had this mic for like a day. Low reser, I believe that. Yo, did you see we found a purple companion in Torghast? That's awesome. Progression. Okay, so Corey, yeah, we've got garrisons back basically. I did a whole walkthrough of the new Sanctum system earlier on the stream if you want to check it out. So basically they brought the good things about garrisons and the good things about what are the class halls, and they put them together into one structure that you do. Hang on, hey John, I want to make sure that you're having a good time here, okay? Let me get right up on this thing. Maximum gains, all right? They've essentially combined garrisons and class halls to form the new Sanctum system, which you're going to hang out in with the rest of people in your Covenant. 4 Covenants to pick from in this expansion. One day, I really hope that they do actual player housing. I think that would be amazing. I'm actually really shocked that WoW has been one of the later players in the game to not do that. Eat the mic. Wait, do I sound quieter now or louder? Help me. Help me, chat. You're my only hope. Sounds good? Great. You love to hear it. Alright, I think this is going to be the final floor of this Soul Forge, which is good. Yeah, you won't see any of that stuff, Corey, until level 60. At level 60, you're going to pick a faction. You're going to pick a Covenant to ally up with. And you're going to get your own new base. Which has, like, you know, all kinds of fun stuff. War table from the garrison. And, you know, all kinds of different mechanics that are suited to your Covenant. Am I handling the review for GI? Yes, I am. We're at the boss, the Cell Block Sentinel.
Everything is negotiable.
We're gonna need some... We're gonna spend all this Phasm stuff to get some bonuses here.
Transaction.
Power up! Enemies affected by your traps. Okay. Not what I wanted. Crit strike by 3%. Thank you. Increases all damage by 30%. Lasts as long as you remain in combat. Hell yeah, I'm gonna buy that. I mean, I only got one more fight to do, so it makes sense. And I guess we'll buy this healing potion too, just in case. Because I got nothing else to spend my Phasm stuff on. Misdirection. Who the hell is going to use misdirection?
Remember, everything has value.
Should they remove equipment and repairs at this point? No. I think it's a marginal cost, but at least it makes you think about being really stupid all the time. You're thinking of starting the free level 1 to 20 pass, but the monthly subscription commitment puts you off. Yep, this is like a legacy experience. One of the few games that still has a subscription model. Can you take breaks in the subscription without affecting your character? It won't change your character if that's what you mean. You won't lose anything, but you may feel like you fall behind on content because one of the benefits of a subscription model is that it does keep a regular content flow. However, you know, if you want to come back to your character after a year, it'll still be there, unchanged. But you may have missed some things in the interim. However, you can still pick up that character and start playing the new stuff with no loss, generally. Like, you don't have to, like, keep the subscription active to keep your characters. I've had characters go to sleep for ages that I haven't logged in on. Alright, let's fight this thing. Alright, you got a lot of health. What do you do? What are your mechanics? Oh yeah, I'm rooted all the time. That's gonna be really unfortunate during this fight. I gotta keep moving. Now he summons ads. Okay, we can live with that. We got that mad beast cleave, baby. Keep my pet healed. Okay, summoning a lot of ads. We're gonna have to do some more AoE. Yeah, here's the thing. You only need to keep your sub running while you're playing the game. It's that simple. Hang on, I'll answer more questions here after we take on the big one, aka Bitey over here. He's starting to become a rough customer. He's really hurting my pet. Pet's taking a lot of damage. I think we got him though. He's in kill shot range. Alright, let's see what we got there. Servers are 24/7. Yes! I wish I was Horde. I was Horde! I was Horde for 15 years! But all my friends wanted to play Alliance this expansion. Corey. So, I'm Alliance for now. I played Horde exclusively from Burning Crusade on. But I don't know why, but lots of my friends in the D Squad wanted to play Alliance. Big deal, whatever. I get to play a Dark Iron Dwarf. It's not the worst thing in the world. Yes, as it was said in chat, what most people may not know about the $15 a month sub is if you are a very active player, it is pretty easy to pay for use in-game currency to pay for your sub. Especially if you take mining and herbalism. You'll have no problem doing that. All right. I got some more quests to do in the Maw. Inquisitor Devaki. Didn't a monthly sub used to be $30? No, it has never changed from the 15 base. Believe me, I would know. If you buy in bulk, it is cheaper, by the way. But a lot of what I would call core players now pay for the sub with in-game gold. I don't know any game that used to cost $30 a month. Oh, I meant like buy a subscription, Pippers. Obviously, you can spend a lot more than $30 in 5 seconds in today's gaming landscape, okay? That wasn't what I was talking about. Yeah, obviously, tabletop, you know, a Warhammer collection of figures. Remember Warhammer MMORPG? I remember. I played that one, too. Usually there's a pupper around here that we can ride. We got a long way to go through the mall. I want to get a mount, but looks like everybody grabbed them. Warhammer Online was the WoW killer. That's what they said back then, yes. Low Reser, yes. This is a place where there's always danger. That's correct. This is the Maw. Welcome. This is the area outside of Torghast. And there's lots of stuff to do here, too. And I don't know if you know this, but apparently there's a frog mount that you can get in Ardenweld that you grow from a seed that looks like this frog, and it's a mount, so we have to get it. Like, must get. Alright, I guess we're walking. We'll find a mount on the way. Am I looking forward to the new Dune movie? Yes, absolutely. Little known fact, I actually like the old Dune movie. I know that's a controversial opinion. And pretty much outlawed in nerd culture, but you know what? I am who I am. Random question, but how many MMOs do I actually know outside of WoW? A lot. I've played almost every single... I've played every major one and many minor ones. To varying degrees of engagement, but very intimate knowledge of the genre, I would say. I mean, I'm talking games that you definitely don't know about. I played it, what was it, Requiem Bloody Mare, even, which was a horror-themed MMORPG. Oh, Atlantica Online. I was also very big into that for years. And, of course, all the majors, and some of the non-majors, too. I played Ragnarok Online very seriously for years. Yeah, I played R. I mean, that's before I saw your comment. That's before I saw that chat comment I mentioned RO. RO has a very special place in my heart. APB. I am aware of APB, and I think I played it for all of half an hour. So not comprehensive knowledge on that one, unfortunately. I do remember it, though. Are MUDs considered MMOs? I've had that argument with so many people over the course of history. They were certainly the precursor to MMOs, if not MMOs themselves. Oh yeah, I played Old Republic on release. I had high hopes for that one. Who didn't? If you were playing an MMO back in the time that Old Republic came out, you played it. And if you're like me, I thought it was really underwhelming. I've heard that it's turned around a lot since then, but... Yeah, WildStar. I liked WildStar a lot, but they went too hardcore. WildStar's endgame, and even the dungeons, were just too much. They were designed for hardcore WoW raiders only, with an absurd amount of attunement, which is gating. That's what we called attunement. You had to do an amazing amount of things to even queue up for some of those things. To basically, to play that game, that whole game was gated off for the hardcore raider sect. WildStar had a lot of really good ideas, but at the end suffered, in my opinion, from being too grindy and too hardcore. I know that sounds silly, but it was. It catered to the extreme audience only. Those are two of the major factors that I think really hurt it. No. Not like Destiny raids. I'm talking way more hardcore than Destiny raids. I'm talking about I'm talking about a regular dungeon run being as difficult as probably what you would consider a more hardcore experience today. And then as for the hardcore experiences in that game, forget about it. You were either in a you were in a high-end raiding guild or you weren't doing any content. And again, that's not the only reason. The game had other issues, but it was really solid core. The combat in that game was super fun. A lot of really interesting classes. But it was also a very grindy game that I think Western-focused gamers were not really ready for. It was very grindy. Yeah. So think about that, but like 10 times as difficult. If you want like a frame of reference to where WildStar's raid system was coming from. It was super cool if you were one of those 1%ers that, you know, did an Axon release or something like that, that wanted a really extreme dungeon experience. But otherwise, forget about it. Oh, no, I will hate that comparison. Do not make that comparison. Let's not compare MMOs to Dark Souls, please. God, can we not do that? Yes, Dead Back, Lord of the Rings Online. I enjoyed that one for a while. I didn't play it super hardcore, but I got into it. I was a rune carver or whatever. I enjoyed that game. That was during the heyday of MMOs, where you could play more than one MMO at a time. Today, I don't know if that's really viable. Because there wasn't a whole lot of like time gating in those games. If you could do the content, you could do the content. You could do it over and over. There were raid lockouts, but that was it. Today, every experience sort of has some gate to prevent you from going like a no-lifer experience in the game. Yeah, WildStar was incredibly hardcore. From both a grind perspective and a group content perspective.
My cartel has
and I think that really did hurt it. That was a time where the MMOs were transitioning away from that experience, and it promised to bring that experience back, right? It promised to bring back tough stuff. But the problem is, that's all there was. That was the content. And so it couldn't capture more than that hardcore audience. And as the hardcore audience at that time, it was too much, even for me. Like, the attunement thing was ridiculous. There's an old graphic floating around the internet. If you Google, like, WildStar raid attunement, it's a chart. You have to do like 1,000 different things. If you remember back in the day to get attuned to do Black Temple, for instance, back in Burning Crusade, it was tough. You had to do the other raids, you had to do some other stuff. It was tough, but doable. The attunement graph for WildStar to do raiding was, frankly, quite absurd. What do we have to do next? We have to get Soul Ash. Okay. Yep, looks like next on the menu we're getting Soul Ash. So more Torghast. You've got me for about another 20 minutes, crew. Figure I put in a good solid 3 hours on the GI stream today. So get your questions in. By the way, thanks so much for being here with me. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to do more GI streams. So I really love it when you come hang out, ask questions, and play games with me. Oh yeah, Ion, I remember that one. I remember that one. I think WildStar had a lot of great ideas, and I think, you know, WildStar was the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of companies realistically investing in MMOs, because it puts all of your eggs into a basket, and if anything, and you're competing against a lot of other established IP already, and if it doesn't blow the socks off everybody out the gates, it's very dangerous for your whole company to take that kind of risk. Oh, thank you for being here, alright? I'm here to create the content for y'all, alright? Where can you get blazers like this one? Well, this one's not one of my... This is not even in my extreme blazer line, okay? This one you can get off Amazon. Yeah, hey, if I wanted to just play, I'd just play, yo. I'm here for the community interaction. That's what I stream for. Well, I can take on much tougher Torghast now. Thanks, Dent. I appreciate that. You know, I don't know which brand this is. I think this is a Majestic branded one. That's how you can search for it on Amazon. Why are MMOs so expensive? A lot of different reasons, God. I think we're going to save that question for the next stream, but the amount of different moving parts that an MMO has compared to one of those games, which are still very expensive and amazing games, the amount of different things that you need to get to work together on an MMO is absurd. And not only that, you have to create a content plan for eternity, essentially. Ugly Christmas sweaters for streams? I'd think about that. You know, I have more Torghast to do, but since we're wrapping this stream up, I don't think we have time to do another Torghast instance. So we're gonna go back to the Sanctum and see what's up there. You found the blazer. See, I told you. Not one of my extreme blazers, though, by the way. This is more of a casual wear blazer. Server maintenance is one element of it, but it is certainly not the whole of it. There are so many other factors involved in creating a live service game that it's something that a lot of other, a lot of companies that made traditional single-player games are now exploring and having to get used to. Yes, Hero. Planning on it. You can always find me there. But I'm really glad that you're here with us. I want to do more Game Informer streams, and you showing up is great to make that happen. So, really glad you showed up for a little World of Warcraft today. We got to check out Torghast a little bit. That was my first time in Torghast on the live servers, so I am very interested in that as being part of the loop for the end game, along with dungeons and raids and world quests and all that fun stuff. You like chicken nuggets? Well, radical opinion, so do I. In fact, I like them a lot.
What do you seek?
Yes, the whole conversation between traditional MMO and gacha games are... Oh boy, we're not doing that one today, but that's going to be a conversation to have. It's a good conversation to have. You know, here's the thing. Chat, I'm not actually trying to sell you on any games. But I do tell you how I feel about different aspects of games. That's what I'm here to do. The Pokemon MMO? Yeah, that's the Golden Goose, right? I know some other companies are actually trying to make that happen. I can't believe that that Pokemon itself hasn't taken advantage of that. So other people are going to attempt to fill that need. Temtem is definitely a multiplayer Pokemon experience, but I know one of the big Chinese companies I think is making a literal Pokemon MMO, I believe. Temtem's got a lot of promise too. Is Temtem worth checking out? Yeah, no, but before you do, make sure you know that it's in early access. And it's not all there yet. A lot of potential, but some of the same grindy components that exist in Pokemon. Definitely a more difficult game than Pokemon. You know, I was really disappointed in Sword and Shield. I make no bones about that. Does Warframe count as an MMO? Yeah, I agree. You know, Snoozy, there's a very nuanced conversation to have about that. I consider the new MMOs to be... They're not MMOs, but they have everything MMOs have, right? So, like, it's like how Destiny didn't want to call itself an MMO, but it's totally an MMO. Right? We all know what we're talking about. If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck. I get it. I get it. The lines are blurred. Thoughts on Final Fantasy XIV for a long-time WoW player? I love Final Fantasy XIV, but I do not like the end game of Final Fantasy XIV like I like the end game in WoW, typically. Can't speak to the end game completely for this current expansion. I think Final Fantasy XIV has amazing visuals, incredible music, and really succeeds at being a story-driven encounter. Even a single-player. It's the best Final Fantasy single-player game in a long time, in my opinion. Hey, not even a joke. I don't care for the combat in Final Fantasy XIV as much as WoW's combat. Oh, I got a healer. Cool. I'm not defensive over it at all, Snoo. It's just a different conversation. I don't think I'm defensive about it at all. I'm very willing to call Destiny MMO, but other people are not. So when that conversation happens, it becomes this whole thing. I'm honestly willing to call any of the new generation of pseudo-MMOs just MMOs at this point and call it good, but that's never the way the conversation goes. People get very defensive about protecting the old guard of MMOs because they're actually massively multiplayer and not... Oh, what are they called? Instance-based session tier. I don't know. There's a lot of wordy nonsense that identifies the new paradigm. Yeah, Sword and Shield, if they would have taken the Wild Zone and made it the whole game, that would have been awesome. Oh yeah, I talk to Matt all the time. Not in person as of late, but yeah. I'm sure he thinks that it is one, honestly. But I will ask for that answer. Twitch integration is a very interesting thing to watch. How that integrates with game as service kind of stuff will be very fascinating to watch in the future. Well, you know, I try not to use MMO terms on the stream in general because a lot of them are just like they you know, they're gibberish to people who don't know. It's been interesting to see like MMO core terminology leak out into the broader gaming sphere over the last decade. And now people use stuff like, you know, mobs, aggro, and all that other fun stuff in everyday parlance of gaming. Yeah, Dan, I believe that's one of the sticking points. People are like, you know, you've got many different players all in the same area at a time. Yeah, the qualifiers are ridiculous at this point, but some of that is on the companies, honestly, for attempting to avoid the MMO label, so they don't get stuck in the same breath as World of Warcraft, intentionally. It's all across the board with that one. I wish people would just embrace it, but we're not there.
My master did say to serve everyone. Remember?
Because it's not massively multiplayer, right? You're in an instance with maybe up to 10 people. Maybe you're in an instance with up to 4 people. Maybe your instance only has 3 people. Right. Yeah. A lot of those elements. Yeah, DPS, tank. That stuff was, that's all MMO terminology leaking out into the world. Yeah, there you go. Gotta get that DPS. Everybody, yeah, DPS is one of those terms that, like, everybody knows now. That's a widely used one. It's true today, Rinder. I actually agree with that. Even stuff that you do out in the world is instance now. It's not like it used to be. So, honestly, that line is blurred, and I don't care about that line, but there are a lot of people on both sides of that discussion that take it very seriously, that freak out if you say, you know, for instance, Destiny's an MMO. Or that WoW is now an instance-based game instead of an MMO. What it all comes down to is that these are all different games of service that you can play by yourself or with other people now, that offer varying degrees of content for both types of players. That's the long and short of it. And from what we've seen, getting back to the discussion on this particular game that we're playing right now, this expansion does seem to cater to a wide variety of player types. Oh, the Destiny conversation drives me nuts. I remember when Destiny came out, I'm like, yo, this is just an MMORPG. People are like, shut up! It's not an MMO!
Darkness, is it?
I'm like, but it has every single element of an MMO. It's like, well, it's not. It's not. I'm like, okay. Alright. Alright, cool. This zone is actually very cool. We didn't get a chance to check it out today, Zangmaster, but this whole, like, gothic horror zone is very well done. And obviously the reason that I went to be a vampire. Why I sided with the vampire faction at the end of the day. But we do have to go to the night phase zone in order to farm up that frog mountain, so we are going to do that at some point here. Not on today's stream, but we're definitely going to do it.
Oh no, this is my treasure.
I completely, yeah, that's absolutely correct. No argument there. I don't know. Hey, I'll tell you what, hit us up on Twitter. Tweet at Game Informer. Tell them how much you love the stream and what game you want to see next on stream, and maybe we can make that happen for you. We love your comments on YouTube, on Twitter. Drop comments. We appreciate them. Tell us if you enjoyed what you saw. Tell us what you want to see next. All that fun stuff. Is Yakuza Like a Dragon worth picking up? 100%. I am unironically going to say this right now. Yakuza Like a Dragon might be my game of the year. Gotta finish it, but had an amazing time in that game so far.
Remember, a safe flight is a boring flight. Another satisfied patron.
I remember Pagan Online. I thought that had potential. I really did. Didn't realize it, but hey, we can say that for a lot of games. I'll do that. Thanks. Yeah, and really, we're getting ready to clock out here. We're getting ready to say goodbye for the day, but I do want to say I appreciate everybody coming by. I hope you got a neat look at Shadowlands early endgame. Torghast seems very cool, I gotta tell you. The zones are very cool, the environments are really great. I always hate getting stuck in calling an MMO expansion at this stage of the game, but I guess that's what they pay me for, right? That's why I get paid the big bucks. I think this is going to be a really cool WoW expansion, I really do. Thanks, Croc. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're doing, and I hope you have a great week. I hope you get some. I hope holiday time, where applicable, gives you some time to spend either by yourself with some video games or with family, depending on your circumstances. Be safe, be cool, and you know, hey, check us out at GameInformer.com. We love seeing you. Yes, Zangmaster, I actually used to play fighting games competitively. There's a really good old episode of Replay Versus. You can see me take on the team in Street Fighter 2. You'll have to Google it. But have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you for another stream really soon. Just like I said, leave a comment on YouTube. You know the whole spiel. Like, share, subscribe, whatever. We appreciate all that stuff. And it's great to see you all. I hope you had a good time exploring Shadowlands with me. There's plenty of more exploration to be done. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day. You're the best. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the questions. And thanks for checking out Shadowlands. Have a wonderful day.